In the late fall of 1997, Koreatown was quite bustling in the evenings. At that time, there were roughly 500,000 Koreans living in New York, including undocumented immigrants. Some people even said the number might be as high as 800,000. I don't know if that figure was an exaggeration at the time, but the atmosphere in Koreatown that early evening made me think it might actually be accurate. There were so many Koreans walking around, on a scale rarely seen otherwise. From restaurants and shops to cell phone stores, stationery shops, grocery stores, and even Kyobo bookstore in the distance. 32nd Street, which during the day was filled not with people but with UPS, FedEx, and other cargo trucks constantly loading and unloading goods on both sides of the street, transformed into a completely different atmosphere by evening. Inside the restaurant on the second floor where I was sitting, as I later learned from my friend, the song Beautiful Confinement by singer Kim Jong-seo was playing. And on the screen, a tall woman with long hair, not the singer performing the song, was dancing. My friend told me that this woman was actress Jeon Ji-hyun. Perhaps because my first impression of this woman was not so pleasant, I spent the entire evening talking only to my friend. Whether he was aware of my situation or not, he kept creating his signature boastful atmosphere by taking turns asking me and this woman various questions and telling stories. Fortunately, thanks to his personality, the awkwardness and discomfort between me and this woman remained largely hidden. One thing was certain, these two were not a couple. For the entire hour, there was absolutely no physical contact between them, not even a touch of hands. Whether by accident or subconsciously, they maintained a clear distance from one another. It was clear they weren't lovers, but I still didn't know what this woman meant to my friend, and there had been no formal introduction. I felt bad for him, but after experiencing her rudeness earlier, I didn't have the generosity to treat her kindly as if nothing had happened. This mysterious woman, sitting to his left, didn't speak to me either. In fact, I considered it a relief, since if she had tried to make up for her rudeness by speaking to me, I would undoubtedly have felt even more awkward, so I simply let the dinner come to an end. While my friend was paying the bill, I went down to the first floor first and stood on the street watching the passing cars. A little while later, that mysterious woman came down. Thinking my friend would follow right behind her, I moved toward the stairs she was coming down, but he hadn't come down yet. It looked as though I had approached her first for no reason, and I found myself in a very awkward position. Since she hadn't even glanced at me during the entire meal, I hadn't been able to get a good look at her. So this was essentially the first time I was seeing her face to face. As I looked up the stairs, waiting for my friend to come down, I caught a fleeting glimpse of this mysterious woman, and her appearance was strikingly different. Well, in a positive way. She was about my height, and her hands were noticeably pretty. Her face, too, had a cute appearance at the time. She was wearing a light pink half-coat and a skirt of the same color, and her hair, which was short, was neatly styled, though it was likely dyed. The color appeared very even and translucent, with a depth comparable to that of a dark brown crystal. It was the kind of soft, atmospheric color reminiscent of the deep brown curtain on the stage of the Broadway musical Les Miserables, softly glowing under the lights. She was dressed in a suit, wearing black stockings and heels of the same color as the coat. The few accessories she wore looked very expensive to me, and the clothes of this mysterious woman I was seeing again were not the kind you'd typically see on the street, not even in affluent areas in Midtown Manhattan. Reflecting the rapidly changing landscape of New York's Korean-American community at the time, one of the common rumors among first and a half or second-generation Korean-Americans in their 20s and 30s was that a woman with such distinctive looks and attire was likely either a wealthy international student or someone working in a special industry, and this woman was undoubtedly the former. Would you believe that all this observation took place in just 5 seconds? I had a feeling it would take my friend a while longer to come down, but I was in a bit of a bind. I couldn't very well leave this woman behind and turn back to watch the passing cars. So once I'd reached the bottom of the stairs, I spoke to the woman who was looking at me with a blank expression. "Is this your first time in New York? You look like you're from Korea."
Yes.
"I guess you know my friend well."
He manages my account.
"Oh, I see." After a few seconds later, I asked her more questions. "Are you staying at a hotel? It's not easy to find a place to stay in New York."
Yes, I'm at a hotel in Midtown. It's quite nice.
As I asked questions and she answered, the Q&A style conversation felt dry, no, parched. And just as I was thinking it was impossible to keep up the pretense any longer, my friend happened to come downstairs. I felt I had to leave quickly. I decided to say goodbye to both of them at once and leave. Well, it's been a pleasure spending time with you both. Let's meet again next time.
Leaving already? Let's stay a little longer.
No, bro. Actually, I didn't bring my car. I have to go back to the office to get it and head home.
Oh, really? Then we better hurry. It's already 9 o'clock.
Up until that moment, this mysterious woman had been standing stiffly, stepped forward just as I was about to leave, and bowed her upper body to me in greeting.
I cherished the hour we spent together. I think I'll be in touch with you in the future. I look forward to it.
In contrast to her behavior up until then, after finishing her greeting, she stood up straight again and looked at me intently, her face even wearing a faint smile. Without showing any emotion, I briefly greeted the two of them one last time, then hailed a cab nearby and headed south. My mind was a bit confused. What kind of woman is she? Was she a movie star? A TV actress? Are all rich kids like that? With these thoughts swirling in my head, I was on my way back to downtown, where my office was located. After that night, I went about my life without thinking much about her. She wasn't someone who mattered to me, nor had she left a particularly good impression, so I had no reason to remember her. I didn't hear from my friend either, but I did wonder, I didn't do anything wrong, so why haven't they contacted me? But since we weren't the type of people who usually initiated contact, I didn't let it weigh on my mind. About a month later, one afternoon, my phone rang with a number displaying the 212 area code. It was an unknown number, but thinking it might be a potential client, I answered.
Hello, this is Jenna, the one you met a month ago.
I recognized the voice. It was that mysterious woman from back then.